Live from New Delhi, you're watching Didi India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Tanvi Taneja, coming up in the next 30 minutes. President Draupadi Murmu embarks on a state visit to Angola and Botswana, the first ever state visit by an Indian head of state to these countries. Prime Minister Narendra Modi flags off 4 new Vande Bharat express trains from Varanasi, aiming to reduce travel time and enhancing ease of travel. US hit with second day of flight cuts as the record 39-day government shutdown drags on. And in cricket, India take the series 2-1 after bad weather hampers the final T20 match at the Gaba in Brisbane. President Draupadi Murmu has embarked on a two-nation visit to Africa. In the first leg of her trip, President Murmu will visit Angola. This trip represents the first ever visit by an Indian head of state to Angola and holds immense importance, particularly as India and Angola mark the 40th anniversary of establishing diplomatic relations in 2025. She is also scheduled to address the Angolan parliament and interact with members of the Indian community in that country. From Angola, her next stop will be neighbouring country, Botswana. DD India's Akash Popli has filed this report from Angola.
President Draupadi Murmu's Africa visit will take place in two phases. In the first leg, she will visit Angola, where several events have been organized in her honor. This will be the first visit by any Indian president to Angola. President Murmu will also attend the 50th Independence Day celebrations of Angola and will address the Angolan parliament. During her visit, high-level talks and discussions on new areas of cooperation will take place between the two sides. Earlier this year in May, Angolan President João Manuel Gonçalves Lourenço visited India. During that visit, he condemned the terrorist attack in Pahalgam, Jammu and Kashmir, and expressed solidarity with India in its fight against terrorism. Diplomatic relations between India and Angola were established in 1985, and this year marks the 40th anniversary of their ties. India supported Angola during its struggle for independence and was among the first countries to recognize Angola's sovereignty after it gained independence in 1975. In 1985, the Indian embassy was opened in Luanda, followed by the establishment of the Angolan embassy in New Delhi in 1986, giving a new dimension to bilateral relations. From an economic and cultural perspective, relations between India and Angola have continued to deepen. India is Angola's second largest trading partner and also its second largest oil importer. Indian companies are actively investing in Angola's pharmaceutical, agriculture, plastic and mining sectors. In 2024-25, bilateral trade reached $5.03 billion, marking a significant increase in recent years. This expanding trade reflects the growing mutual trust and economic partnership between the two nations.
Well, Angola and India share a very vibrant energy partnership. Angola is a major source of crude oil to India from Africa. In fact, it is the second largest source of petroleum after Nigeria in Africa. They are also a big source of LNG, liquefied natural gas, to India. In fact, one of the largest top 5 to 6 providers of LNG to India in the world. Angola is also one of the leading producers of diamonds in the world, and as we know, around 85 to 90% of the diamond polishing, cutting and polishing take place in India, and many Indian companies purchase rough diamonds from Angola with this purpose.
Around 7,000 Indians live in Angola, playing a crucial role in country's trade and service sectors. Additionally, yoga and Bollywood films are gaining increasing popularity in Angola. Under the ITEC program, the Government of India provides education and training opportunities for Angolan students and professionals.
President of India, Draupadi Murmu's visit to Angola has made the relations between the two countries stronger. In today's challenges world, The visit will help both nations work together and plan better for the future. It has also brought new hope and excitement among the Indian community living in Angola. With camera person Sumit Dhiman, me Akash Popli, DD India, Angola.
During a visit to Angola, President Murmu will also meet members of the Indian community. On this occasion, Elish Mehta, President of the Indian community in Angola, said that India and Angola have great potential in different sectors like mining, ports, healthcare and so on. He said as an Indian community, the focus is to create more jobs in Angola.
After 40 years, bilateral relations, the first time the President of India is visiting Angola, and there is a huge potential in the various sectors, as I said, that in the trading sector, in the health sector, in the service sectors, even in the aviation sectors also, I can say. They just opened the new airport, and there is a huge potential and possibilities for the ports, for the mining sectors, for the industrialization. As far as the Indians are very good in the creating the small-scale jobs. So our focus as an Indian community, our focus is to creating more jobs over here in Angola, and strengthen the relations.
India's Vice President C.P. Radhakrishnan attended the culmination ceremony organized to honor the 8th 180-day intense fasting cycle of Jain saint Hans Ratna Surishwarji Maharaj at Vigyan Bhavan in New Delhi. Lauding the efforts of Jainism for the social and cultural upliftment of the nation, the Vice President emphasized on the hardships surrounding the astonishing feat achieved by Hans Ratna Ji Maharaj. During his address, the Vice President highlighted the core beliefs of Jainism, including non-violence and truthfulness, and their significance in the development of humankind across India and the globe.
The teachings of Jainism are simple yet profound, and it is most needed for the peace of the world today than any time. Ahimsa, that is non-violence; Satya, the truth; Abhrigraha, non-possessiveness; and Anehandavada, the multiple approach to the truth.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the National Conference on Strengthening Legal Aid Delivery Mechanisms at the Supreme Court of India in New Delhi on Saturday. The Prime Minister also launched the Community Mediation Training Module prepared by the National Legal Services Authority. The conference deliberated on key aspects of the legal services framework, such as the Legal Aid Defence Council system, panel lawyers, paralegal volunteers, permanent lok adalats, and the financial management of legal services institutions. In a significant step towards expanding India's modern rail infrastructure, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Saturday flagged off 4 new Vande Bharat Express trains from Varanasi, Uttar Pradesh. The new Vande Bharat Express trains will operate on the Banaras, Khajuraho, Lucknow, Saharanpur, Firozpur, Delhi, Ernakulam, Bengaluru routes, significantly reducing travel time between the major destinations. Additionally, these trains will enhance regional mobility, promote tourism, support economic activity across the country. The trains will not only enhance connectivity but also provide greater comfort for citizens. The flagging off of these trains marks another milestone in realizing Prime Minister's vision of providing citizens with easier, faster, more comfortable travel through world-class railway services. Emphasizing that this is a comprehensive campaign to transform Indian Railways, Prime Minister Modi described Vande Bharat as a train made by Indians, for Indians and of Indians, one that fills every Indian with pride.
आज वंदे भारत, नमो भारत और अमृत भारत जैसी ट्रेनें भारतीय रेलवे की अगली पीढ़ी की नींव तैयार कर रही है। ये भारतीय रेलवे को ट्रांसफॉर्म करने का एक पूरा अभियान है। वंदे भारत भारतीयों की, भारतीयों द्वारा, भारतीयों के लिए बनाई हुई ट्रेन है जिस पर हर भारतीय को गर्व है।
Prime Minister Modi also highlighted the developmental initiatives in Uttar Pradesh which have elevated pilgrimage to a new level.
बीते 11 वर्षों में यूपी में हुए विकास कार्यों ने तीर्थाटन को एक नए स्तर पर पहुंचा दिया है। पिछले साल बाबा विश्वनाथ के दर्शन के लिए 11 करोड़ श्रद्धालु काशी आए थे। अयोध्या में राम मंदिर के निर्माण के बाद 6 करोड़ से ज्यादा लोग रामलला के दर्शन कर चुके हैं। यूपी की अर्थव्यवस्था को इन श्रद्धालुओं ने हजारों करोड़ रुपए का लाभ पहुंचाया है।
Prime Minister Modi interacted with children on board these new Vande Bharat Express train. The Prime Minister commended the children for the paintings and poems presented at the competition based on various themes like Viksit Bharat, Surakshit Bharat. He also lauded their parents and teachers for the support, guidance and encouragement provided to them. Prime Minister Narendra Modi earlier received a rousing welcome from people in Varanasi as his convoy passed. People waved and showered flowers to welcome their leader to his own constituency. Railway Minister Advani, who was present at the event, later inspected the Banaras Locomotive Works (BLW). Vaishnav reviewed locomotive manufacturing processes and discussed improvement plans with BLW employees. He directed officials to ensure strict quality control and immediately reject any substandard material. You're watching DD India Live, still to come on the show. Donald Trump says no US official will attend this year's G20 in South Africa. Afghanistan-Pakistan peace talks fail again, but truce continues. Taliban accuses Islamabad of irresponsible posture. And after Kalmegi, the Philippines braces for another typhoon, Phung Vong.
Tell us whether the British were really interested in religion, or was this all about politics?
The British wanted to know as much about it as they could. But what they got was not necessarily a truly accurate reflection of the lived reality. It doesn't matter what your religion is as long as the man is good.
I cannot not ask you about the Kerala story, that contentious, controversial movie.
It really was not just propaganda, it was just blatantly false.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Tanvi Taneja. Campaigning is on in full swing ahead of the second phase of Bihar Assembly polls in eastern part of India. Leaders of various political parties are leaving no stone unturned to woo the voters. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Saturday held a rally in Bihar's Sitamarhi district. Addressing a public rally, Prime Minister Modi said that people of Bihar have given a 65-degree volt shock to the lawless people in the first phase.
पहले चरण में जंगल राज वालों को 65 वोल्ट का झटका लगा है। चारों तरफ ये चर्चा है कि बिहार के नौजवानों ने विकास को चुना है, एनडीए को चुना है। बिहार की बहनों बेटियों ने भी एनडीए की रिकॉर्ड विजय पक्की कर दी है।
After Sitamarhi, the senior BJP leader addressed another public rally in Betia, where he highlighted the government's achievements in various sectors, including education and healthcare.
हम यहाँ ITI बना रहे हैं, इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज खोल रहे हैं, मेडिकल कॉलेज बना रहे हैं और ये आरजेडी कांग्रेस वाले बिहार के बच्चों को रंगदारी के लिए प्रेरित कर रहे हैं। साथियों, ये चुनाव सिर्फ आरजेडी कांग्रेस की पराजय तक सीमित नहीं रहने चाहिए। आपको उस मानसिकता को हराना है जो बिहार के बच्चों में जहर का बीज बो रही है।
Today is BJP veteran leader LK Advani's birthday. Prime Minister Narendra Modi warmly greeted the veteran leader on his birthday on Saturday, lauding Lal Krishna Advani's vision, sharp intellect and unwavering commitment to India's development. Prime Minister Modi praised Advani's selfless service and firm principles, highlighting his lasting impact on the country's democracy and cultural heritage. In a post on X, Prime Minister Modi wrote, and I quote him, "Greetings to Shri LK Advani ji on his birthday, a statesman blessed with towering vision and intellect. Advani ji's life has been dedicated to strengthening India's progress. He has always embodied the spirit of selfless duty and steadfast principles. His contributions have left an indelible mark on India's democratic and cultural landscape. May he be blessed with good health and a long life." And now we take a look at other stories making news across the world. Indonesian police on Saturday found possible explosive powder as they investigated explosions at a mosque in the capital, Jakarta. Explosions that injured dozens of people during Friday prayers, with a 17-year-old student the suspected perpetrator. A fire at a perfume warehouse in Turkey's Dilovasi has killed 6 people. Local authorities told that 5 people were in hospital, with 1 in critical condition being treated at a burns unit. The fire was brought under control by firefighters, rescue teams and municipal staff. Pope Leo XIV met South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa at Vatican City. During their meeting, Ramaphosa presented the Pope with 2 books on icons of his country, former President Nelson Mandela and the late Archbishop Desmond Tutu. The United States is now deep into what has become the longest government shutdown in its history, and its effects are rippling across every level of the country's economy. The shutdown, which began on October 1st after Congress failed to break a stalemate over federal funding negotiations, has now entered 39th day with no political resolution in sight. As the shutdown drags on, roughly 700,000 federal employees are working without pay. Another 670,000 have been furloughed, and tens of millions of Americans are experiencing disruptions to essential services. Meanwhile, hundreds of flights were hampered at the busiest airports in the US this weekend as airlines move forward with reducing air service due to the lingering government shutdown, with more flight cancellations to come in the days ahead. The U.S. Supreme Court has temporarily allowed the Trump administration to withhold about $4 billion in food aid amid the ongoing government shutdown. The decision pauses the lower court's order requiring full funding for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program that supports 42 million Americans. The administrative stay gives lower courts more time to review the administration's appeal. A Rhode Island judge has ordered the USDA to fully fund SNAP food benefit program for November, but the government argued that only Congress can allocate spending during the shutdown. The Justice Department also warned that forcing immediate payment could worsen the fiscal crisis. Democratic leaders have condemned the move, saying it leaves millions of low-income families uncertain about receiving food aid. The Supreme Court's temporary order will remain in effect until the appeals court issues its ruling. U.S. President Donald Trump announced on Friday that no U.S. government official will attend the G20 summit in South Africa on November 22nd, 23rd, citing alleged human rights abuses against white African farmers. Donald Trump posted on his Truth Social platform that it is a total disgrace that the G20 will be held in South Africa. The decision overrides September plans for Vice President J.D. Vance to represent the United States. South African officials deny any persecution, calling the assertions false. Tensions have escalated over trade tariffs, refugee policies, prioritizing white South Africans, and Pretoria's International Court of Justice case against Israel. Trump eagerly anticipates hosting the 2026 summit at his Miami golf resort. Onto the Russia-Ukraine conflict now. At least 2 people have been killed and 11 injured in Ukraine's eastern city of Dnipro. Emergency services evacuated residents from a 9-story apartment building after it was struck by a Russian drone overnight. The powerful strike caused extensive damage to the structure, shattering windows, igniting fires and trapping several people inside as debris and smoke filled the area. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that Russia launched 450 drones and 45 missiles in overnight attack on Saturday. Afghanistan's Taliban government declared that the latest peace talks with Pakistan in Turkey were a failure, accusing Islamabad of an irresponsible and uncooperative stance. Afghan spokesperson Zabihullah Mujahid stated that Pakistan sought to offload all security burdens onto Kabul without addressing mutual threats. The 4th round, which was held on Thursday and Friday, aimed to implement an October 19th Qatar truce amid the deadliest clashes since 2021 that killed dozens. Turkey and Qatar mediated but failed to bridge gaps on cross-border militancy, particularly Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan. The ceasefire holds tenuously amid ongoing TTP attacks in Pakistan. UN reports that 50 Afghan civilian deaths have been reported from October clashes. More from Asia now. After the destructive typhoon Kalmege, Philippines is bracing for another typhoon, Fung Wong, which is expected to strengthen before making landfall on Sunday night. The Philippines Weather Bureau has warned the massive storm spanning 1,500 kilometers, which is bringing intense rain and winds up to 170 kilometers per hour, with storm surges up to 5 meters. Up to 200 millimeters of rainfall is expected in eastern Philippine provinces, particularly in Bicol region, as well as parts of Samar, raising the risk of widespread flooding and landslides, while northern and central Luzon could see 100 to 200 millimeters rainfall during its passage. And next we have sports news. First, updates from cricket. India have sealed the T20 international series against Australia 2-1 after the 5th and final match at Brisbane was washed out due to heavy rain and thunderstorms. The men in blue were off to a flying start before the weather played spoil sport. The series decider at the Gabba ended in an anti-climax, but not before Indian openers Shubman Gill and Abhishek Sharma showcased aggressive talent. And Narayan Singh joins us with more on the story. So a perfect series win coming for Team India, Narayan, against Australia, in Australia, especially ahead of the T20 World Cup next year.
Definitely, Tanvi, as you mentioned, ahead of the T20 World Cup that will take place in India a great win for the Indian team down under, because we lost the ODI series 2-1 against Australia, and winning the T20 series with a margin of 2-1. It's a good reply to the Australian team, and the kind of cricket they played after the first match was abandoned due to rain, and the second match we saw at MCG, just the Josh Hazlewood, the Australian pacer, dismantling the Indian batting lineup. But after that, India made a fantastic bounce back, winning the next two matches at Hobart and the Gold Coast, and the scoreline became 2-1. And the final match, as the series started with a washout, again the final match too washed out, and India won the series 2-1. But overall, we can say that a fantastic performance by this Indian squad, the way they played under the challenging condition in the Australian condition. Actually, the first match at MCG was assisting the Pacers, but the next two matches we saw there was a bit assistance for the spinners, and our spinners wreak havoc over the Australian batting lineup, and we know what was the result, and because of that we won the series 2-1. But this pitch here at the Gabba was quite bouncy and pacey, and there was a bit suspicion over the Indian batting lineup whether they could handle this pace or bounce. No, but our openers, the way they batted, especially Abhishek Sharma and Shubman Gill, definitely they gave India flying start and just put a full stop over the questions regarding this pitch, because we know that the ball was coming nicely on the bat, and we are hoping that the kind of intention they showed here in the upcoming matches too, especially the T20 World Cup next year is on horizon, they will continue that momentum in the World Cup also, especially. But questions are, we can say a few questions were raised over the Australian batting lineup. Can they handle the quality spin attack under the subcontinental condition when they will play the T20 World Cup in India? So in that context, they have to just rethink and just place all the things in order if they want to be in a good position, in a good place, be a competitive team for the T20 World Cup. If India, we know that India was the defending champions, it will be a big challenge for the Indian team to defend the title, but India will be one of the favorites to win the title.
So all in all, a great time for cricket in India. Thank you very much, Narayan Singh, for all those updates. That's all in this edition of DD India Live. Thank you for being with us. Namaskar.